Bill Wilson is the founder of Metro World Child, an organization which began in Brooklyn, New York. It has since grown into an international ministry that helps over 150,000 children each week around the world, including Kenya, the Philippines, South Africa, and India. Pastor and Dr. Bill Wilson was participating in medical ministry work along the Syrian border when he was shot in the back. That was on Tuesday, October the 10th. And Pastor Dr. Bill Wilson joins me now via Skype. Doctor, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Al. It's good to be here. At this point, it's just good to be anywhere.
Now, you were wearing a bulletproof vest, which saved your life, but the bullet still caused quite a bit of damage. Is that true?
It did. It was a sniper bullet. Caught me in the back, broke 2 ribs. One of them punctured my lung. The impact of the bullet, because of the size of the round, then knocked me forward, breaking one of the ribs up front. I fell on some rocks and ended up fracturing my skull right here. So, but again, it could have been a lot worse. The vest really caught the slug, but because of the size of it, bent the metal plate in the vest and then broke the ribs.
So how are you feeling now? Are you healed?
It's going to be a long road back. Anytime you break the ribs, it's always not just painful, but a very long healing process. And because of that, I've taken in the blood into the lung, been coughing up a lot of blood and still trying to speak. So it's a bit of a challenge, but Christmas time is a very important part of Metro World Child.
So let me ask you, why were you in such a dangerous place to begin with?
Well, I had an opportunity to go into Syria and work with some folks that I know that are helping the Syrian refugees. As you know, and the folks know, it's a very painful situation there. And when we were having people coming in on flatbed trucks, 50 patients at a time, doing medical work for some of these people that would not have any kind of medical treatment at all, besides being able to start Sunday school ministry, which of course you know, Metro is the largest Sunday school in the world. Last week, we had 200,000 in Sunday school, and that's wow. Our forte and has been for 50 years that I've been doing this. So between the Sunday school ministry, trying to do medical work and feeding, those people are in such horrendous conditions. It's just horrible. And that's why we were there.
So tell me about your vision for Metro World Child Mission in Syria.
Well, at this point, the most difficult part is getting doctors to join us. And I think, of course, now with this shooting, that's not a good advertisement for getting folks to come. But to the upside of it, it has drawn attention to the need, which has been an added blessing that none of us would have anticipated. And then, of course, we're looking for people that can interpret, because that's a key, as we all know, for communication. So I think because of the shooting, now it's really captivated people to know that Americans and Canadians are going in there and willing to do whatever it takes to make a difference. And that's one of the things I've said on television and in my seminars all over the world. It's your commitment has to be stronger than your emotions. And so many folks, when something bad happens, your emotions say, that's it, can't do this, we're done. And yet, and I think now it's become a clarion call and has really challenged people to step up and be willing to go and make a difference in the lives of those folks. It's a critical time there, Al, very critical.
Now, speaking of emotions, Bill, tell me about the emotional condition of these kids after experiencing the horrors of war and terrorism.
I know you've got, of course, kids that have been dealt with by chemical weapons, women they're bringing them in on the back of flatbed trucks. Many of them haven't eaten for days. They have no access to any medical care. So you can see it in their eyes. I've been in war situations before where I've had to wear the vest. I've been shot in the head before, and now I've been shot in the back. So when you go into these parts of the world where people are just grateful for anything, any help you can give, food, medical, anything. We watch the kids, just bringing them in to a Sunday school time where they can actually be children and not constantly looking around, worrying about barrel bombs, worrying about being gassed with sarin. So it was just to be able to watch a child, just be a child and know that they're in a safe place. To me, it's whatever takes time in that part of the world. It's difficult, sure it is. It's risky, without a doubt. But at some point, we have to take the message of Christ into them, knowing that that really is their only hope. We talk in North America about hope. These people have no hope. And when we are bringing medicine, when we are bringing food, when we bring the gospel to those places, that's the key. And you can see it. You can see it, even though they may not be of the same belief. Just for them to have someone smile, to sit with them, to care for them, to tell them that they care about them. Hell, I wish you could go with me on some of these places, because you would see some things that many North Americans would never see in a lifetime.
Do a lot of these children also receive some counseling support and help, especially after all the trauma that they've gone through?
Oh, no, you're right. You have to do that. It has to be a holistic approach to deal with every part of the child as well as the parent. And that's one of the things that we're trying to get help with now as we go into Christmas. We have a project that we're going to really work hard to make happen. We call Operation Holiday Hope. And those kids, we're really hoping to be able to at least bring them something for Christmas to share the love of Christ and the love of humanity towards them, because many of them don't really know what that is.
So your plan is to go back to Syria then?
It will be. It's going to be a time of mending for me. When the ribs are broken and the fractures and so forth, it's going to take some time. But the rest of the team is still there. They're working hard. They're serving. And as I said, we're believing that this is going to draw enough of attention to the need to get other people willing to go and volunteer as well.
Now let's bring it a little closer to home here. Tell me
Yes,
about
sir.
what you're doing in North America to help kids as we edge a little bit closer to Christmas.
It is. And that's this Operation Holiday Hope project. And it's really not even just for the kids in North America. It's going to be now for these kids that go to Metro World Child Sunday School, including the kids in Syria, all over the world. And I normally get a chance this time of year to do some television programs and some TV telethons, but I can't do it this year because I'm not able to stand up for that extended period of time. So now we've got churches that are saying they want to make Metro World Child a part of their Christmas project. We've got some businessmen that we're so grateful for that are stepping up and wanting to do some end of the year giving to provide Christmas gifts, Christmas food for some of these kids that live. You mentioned Kenya and the Philippines. We've got kids in the garbage dumps in the Philippines. Some of your viewers, I'm sure, are familiar with it. Some of the kids live in a cemetery. Hard to believe, but we actually do Sunday school in a cemetery where squatters live with their families amongst the remains of dead people. We do Sunday school in the cemetery.
Wow.
And this Operation Holiday Hope is an opportunity for everyone now to be involved, especially with me in the physical condition I'm in, not being able to do what I normally do. If we ever needed folks' help, it's this year. And I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with your viewers, because this is what's going to make this year's Holiday Hope happen around the world. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate
You're more than welcome. So Holiday Hope is aiming for 200,000 kids to receive a Christmas gift. And what kind of gifts? And tell me about the impact those gifts will have on the children.
Well, it's going to depend primarily on the part of the world. Obviously, in Syria, we're going to try to get them food. Just the simple things of life where a box of food can serve the entire family for several days over Christmas. In the Philippines, of course, it's going to be school supplies, because so many of those kids that live in the dump, in the cemetery, don't even have the simplest things to be able to keep them in school. In Kenya, we're going to try to get some school uniforms, which many of them can't go to school because they have to have a uniform. So we try to tailor it according to the needs of the kids, where they live, and yet still bring some real holiday hope, which is, I've been doing this now for 20 years. And it's amazing to me how every year more churches, more individuals, business people, people that sponsor some of our kids, the generosity, I think, between Canadians and Americans. Thank God for the folks of North America. And I'm so grateful to see the response. And when you see the response of the children, and not even the children, but the families, you've got single moms that would have nothing. I remember last year we had one child that rides the bus that I drive in Brooklyn to bring the kids to Sunday school. And you know, the kids usually, when they get a gift, they're so excited, they want to open it right away. And there was one little girl, when she got the gift, she was holding it very tight. And I said, "Are you going to open it?" She said, "No, Pastor Bill, I'm going to put it under our Christmas tree." I said, "You have a tree?" And she started to cry. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "No, we don't have a tree. We have a tree branch. And we hung a extension cord light on there. The tree branch was a Christmas tree. And she's going to take that one gift and put it under the branch." That's what this means, Hal. And that's what your viewers need to understand. The smallest things can bring the greatest amount of hope to a child's life. I understand that because my mother left me on a street corner. I used to hate Christmas, but it was only because of Christians that made it possible for me when I was young. So this is what we're trying to do now. Same thing they did for me.
And now you're making a world of difference out there. Thank you so much for your commitment and for a wonderful cause.
We can't do it without people.
Yeah.
We can't do it without folks' hope. And stations like yours, again, thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
you're more
you
than
for
welcome.
your
Pastor and Dr. Bill Wilson, founder of Metro World Child, I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News, I'm Hal Roberts. God bless, and thanks for watching.